Some women remember their wedding day as the happiest moment of their lives. I remember mine as the day I buried myself alive. My name is Elena Carter, and I married a monster wearing a designer tuxedo and a smile that could charm angels into falling. They say love is blind. They're wrong. Love sees everything. It just convinces you that what you're seeing is beautiful, even when it's rotting from the inside out. This is the story of how I died at the altar and came back as something he should have feared. This is the story of the knock that should have saved me, and the revenge that finally did. The night before my wedding, I was alone in the bridal suite of the Grand Meridian Hotel, surrounded by white silk and champagne I was too nervous to drink. Tomorrow, I would marry Marcus Kane, successful entrepreneur, charming philanthropist, the man who'd swept me off my feet with candlelit proposals and whispered promises of forever. Tomorrow, I would become Mrs. Kane. Tomorrow, my life would begin. Or so I thought. The knock came at 11:47 p.m. Sharp. Urgent. 3 rapid strikes against mahogany that made my heart jump. I wrapped my robe tighter and opened the door to find a woman I'd never seen before. Mid-30s, rain-soaked, mascara tracking down her cheeks like war paint. "You're Elena." Her voice shook. "Yes. Can I help you?" "Don't marry him." She grabbed my wrist, nails digging in. "Please. Marcus Kane is not who you think he is. He's a liar. A manipulator. He will destroy you." My brain stuttered. "I'm sorry, who are you?" "Someone who loved him once. Someone he broke." Her eyes were wild, desperate. "I know you think I'm crazy. That's what he'll tell you I am. But I'm begging you, run. Cancel the wedding. Get as far away from him as you can." Red flags should have waved. Alarm bells should have rung. Instead, I felt anger. "You need to leave," I said, pulling my wrist free. "I don't know who you are or what your problem is, but showing up the night before someone's wedding with conspiracy theories is. He cheated on you last week." Her words hit like bullets. "With his ex Sophia. Room 412, this hotel, Tuesday night. He told you he was meeting investors." My throat closed. Tuesday night. He had said investors. He'd come home late, smelling like hotel soap and apologies. "You're lying," I whispered, but my voice betrayed doubt. She pulled out her phone, hands shaking. "I have proof. Photos. Videos. Messages. He's been with her the entire time you've been engaged. You're not his first victim, Elena. And if you marry him tomorrow, you won't be his last." She tried to show me the screen. I slammed the door in her face. Through the wood, I heard her sob. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what's coming." Then footsteps. Running. Gone. I stood there, hand on the doorknob, heart hammering. I should have opened that door again. I should have looked at her phone. I should have listened. But love, stupid, blind, arrogant love, convinced me she was just a jealous ex trying to ruin my happiness. So I went to bed, told myself it was pre-wedding jitters, and prepared to marry the man who would spend the next year systematically destroying my soul. The wedding was at 2 p.m. At noon, I went looking for Marcus. We'd agreed not to see each other before the ceremony, bad luck, tradition, all that romantic nonsense. But the woman's words had planted seeds of doubt that grew like weeds through my sleep. Room 412. His ex Sophia. I told myself I was being paranoid as I took the elevator to the 4th floor. I told myself there was a rational explanation as I walked down the carpeted hallway. I told myself I was about to feel very foolish as I approached room 412. Then I heard them. God, I needed this. Marcus's voice, breathless and familiar. A woman's laugh. Wedding day jitters. More like wedding day farewell tour. After today, I'll have to be more careful. You're really going through with it. The woman, Sophia, my brain supplied sickly, sounded amused. Marrying Little Miss Perfect. The trust fund doesn't marry itself, babe. Marcus's laugh made my stomach turn. Besides, she's easy to control. Naive. Desperate to please. Give it 6 months, and she won't even question where I am at night. And us. Us doesn't end just because I put a ring on someone else's finger. You know that. Sounds I couldn't unhear. Wouldn't forget. The soundtrack of my innocence, dying in a hotel hallway while my wedding dress hung 2 floors below. I stood there for 5 minutes, hand pressed against my mouth, tears silent on my cheeks. Then I turned around, and I went to get ready for my wedding, Everyone said I was a beautiful bride. The dress, ivory silk with lace sleeves, fit perfectly. My makeup covered the sleepless circles under my eyes. My smile, practiced in the mirror for 30 minutes, looked almost real. "You're glowing," my mother gushed, adjusting my veil with hands that trembled slightly. Too much champagne, I thought. Or guilt. I wouldn't know about the guilt until later. Much later. My father walked me down the aisle to Pachelbel's cannon, and I counted each step like a condemned woman walking to the gallows. 87 steps from the door to the altar. 87 chances to run. I took none of them. Marcus waited at the end, devastatingly handsome in his tuxedo, smile brilliant and false as a cubic zirconia. When our eyes met, I searched for the monster I'd heard in room 412. I found only my fiancé, the man who'd proposed under fireworks, who'd held me through my father's heart attack, who'd whispered that I was his forever. Cognitive dissonance, I'd learn later. The inability to reconcile conflicting information. The mind's desperate attempt to maintain the lie because the truth is too destructive to accept. "Dearly beloved," the officiant began. I opened my mouth to object, to scream, to run. Instead, I said "I do," and became Mrs. Marcus Kane. His kiss tasted like her lipstick, a shade too dark, slightly waxy. But I was the only one who noticed. I was the only one who knew I'd just married my own executioner. The reception was a blur of champagne toasts and forced laughter. To the happy couple, Marcus's best friend Derek raised his glass, and I saw something flicker across his face. Pity. Warning. It vanished before I could name it. Marcus's hand never left mine, possessive, controlling, a shackle disguised as affection. Every time I tried to pull away to greet guests, his grip tightened. "Stay close," he murmured, smile plastered on. "I need you right here. I need to control where you are and who you talk to," my brain translated. During our first dance, I whispered, "I know about Sophia." His rhythm didn't falter. "I don't know what you're talking about." Room 412. "This morning." "Elena." His voice was patient, almost pitying. "Did someone tell you something? Because if they did, they're lying. Probably jealous. You know how people are." "I heard you." "You heard someone." "Not me." He spun me and I stumbled. His arm caught me, held me upright. To everyone watching, it looked romantic. Protective. To me, it felt like a threat. "I would never hurt you," he said, loud enough for nearby couples to hear. Then quieter. "But if you keep making accusations, people will think you're unstable. Is that what you want? To be the crazy bride having a breakdown at her own wedding?" Gaslighting. The term would become intimately familiar over the coming months. But in that moment, surrounded by 200 witnesses who saw only a fairy tale, I felt my reality slip. Maybe I misheard. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe I'm being paranoid. I rested my head on his chest and let him lead. The monster smiled. Bora Bora should have been paradise. Instead, it was my introduction to psychological warfare. The affection Marcus had showered on me during our engagement evaporated the moment we were alone. No hand-holding, no spontaneous kisses, no whispered endearments. "I'm tired," he said every night, turning away in bed. Wedding planning was exhausting. 1 week became 2. His excuses multiplied. "I'm stressed about work. I have a headache. Why are you so needy?" That last one, delivered with a sneer that made me feel like something pathetic and desperate, planted the first seed of shame. Am I being needy? Is wanting intimacy with my husband on our honeymoon unreasonable? His phone, however, was never tired. It buzzed constantly. He took calls on the beach, walking just far enough away that I couldn't hear. He texted during dinners, fingers flying, smile playing at his lips, the smile he used to give me. "Work," he'd say when I asked. But I'd seen the contact name before he minimized the screen. Sophia Redheart. "Who's Sophia?" I asked on day 9. "A colleague." "Why?" The heart emoji seems unprofessional. His laugh was cruel. "You're checking my contacts now? That's healthy." He stood, toweling off from the ocean. "I'm going for a walk. Alone. Since apparently you need to monitor my every move." He returned 3 hours later, smelling like coconut sunscreen that wasn't mine and sex I hadn't been part of. When I tried to confront him, he turned it around with surgical precision. "You're being paranoid. Jealous. Controlling. This is not the woman I married. What happened to trusting me? To being my partner? And somehow, impossibly, I apologized that I called my mother from the hotel bathroom, door locked, shower running to mask my voice. Mom, I think I made a mistake. Something's wrong. Silence. Then, cold feet is normal, honey. Marriage is an adjustment. It's not cold feet. He's different. Distant. Mean. And I think he might be cheating. Another pause, longer this time. When she spoke, her voice had an edge I'd never heard before. Elena, listen to me very carefully. You are married now. You made a commitment in front of God and 200 guests. Whatever small problems you're having, you work through them. You don't air dirty laundry. You don't make accusations. You certainly don't throw away a marriage over paranoid fantasies. Mom, do you know how humiliating it would be for this family if you got divorced after 2 weeks? What people would say? Your father's business associates were at that wedding, Elena. His reputation. What about my happiness? Happiness is a choice. Her tone was ice. Choose to be grateful. Marcus is successful, handsome, from a good family. Many women would kill to be in your position. Then they can have him. Enough! The shout made me flinch. You will go back to your husband. You will smile. You will be the wife he deserves. And you will stop this nonsense immediately. She hung up. I stared at my phone, something cold settling in my chest. My mother's defense of Marcus was too fierce, too immediate, too guilty. But I couldn't imagine why. Not yet. Back home, the psychological torture became systematic. Marcus controlled everything with a smile and a reasonable explanation. Let's combine bank accounts. We're married. We should share everything. Within a week, I had no access to my own money. Every purchase required his approval. Your friends are so negative. They don't support our marriage. Maybe see them less. Within a month, I was isolated. That dress is a bit revealing, don't you think? I just don't want other men getting ideas. Within 3 months, I dressed like a nun. Every boundary he crossed came wrapped in concern. Care. Love. I'm doing this because I love you. I just want what's best for us. Why are you fighting me on this? Don't you trust me? The answer, I learned quickly, always had to be yes. Any resistance was met with silent treatment, days of being ignored, invisible in my own home, accusations of being dramatic, emotional, unstable threats disguised as observations. If you keep acting like this, I don't know how long I can stay. Gaslighting so effective I question my own memories. I never said that. That didn't happen. You're remembering wrong. I started writing things down. Keeping a journal. Recording conversations. Insurance against the constant revision of reality he performed. Chapter 8. The Guest Room Sin. 6 months into marriage, my world exploded. I came home early from the job I'd been encouraged to quit. One of my last acts of defiance was keeping it, and heard sounds from upstairs. Rhythmic. Unmistakable. Coming from the guest room. My feet carried me upstairs that had never seemed so long. The door was cracked open, and through that crack, I saw my husband, with my mother, her back arched, his hands in her hair, the bed I'd helped her pick out when she redecorated hitting the wall with each thrust. They didn't see me, too lost in their betrayal to notice the daughter and wife standing in the doorway, soul bleeding out onto expensive carpet. I watched for 30 seconds that lasted a lifetime. Then I turned around, walked down the stairs, got in my car, and drove. I didn't stop until I reached the coast 3 hours away, some beach I didn't know, sunset I couldn't see through the tears. My phone exploded with messages. Marcus, where are you? Marcus, Elena, answer me. Now. Marcus, you're being ridiculous. Come home. Marcus, if you don't come home, there will be consequences. Mom, we need to talk. You misunderstood what you saw. Mom, don't do anything stupid. Mom, call me. I threw my phone into the ocean, watched it sink into dark water, taking their voices with it. Then I sat on the sand and felt something shift inside me. Not breaking. Sharpening. Chapter 9. The Mask of a Husband. I returned home 3 days later with a new phone, a plan, and a smile made of steel. Marcus was waiting, concern painted on his face with the skill of an actor who'd perfected the role. Baby. Thank God. I was so worried. He reached for me. I stepped back. Don't. Elena, please. Whatever you think you saw. I know what I saw. You saw your mother and me hugging. She was upset about your father, and I was comforting her. If that looked like something else to you, I'm sorry, but your mind twisted an innocent moment into something sordid. The audacity was almost impressive. You were inside her, Marcus. I was not. His voice rose, then immediately modulated back to calm. Reasonable. The voice of sanity speaking to crazy. Elena, I think you need help. Professional help. This paranoia, these accusations, it's not healthy. I'm worried about you. Where's my mother? At home with your father, where she should be. She's devastated that you would accuse her of something so vile. He stepped closer. I love you. I'm trying to help you. But you're making it very difficult. This was the moment. The fork in the road. I could scream. Fight. Insist on my reality. Or I could play his game better than he did. I chose the latter. You're right, I said softly. I'm sorry. I haven't been well. The stress, the isolation, I think I'm seeing things that aren't there. Hope flickered in his eyes. The hope of a predator who thought his prey was broken. It's okay, he soothed, pulling me close. We'll get you help. I'll take care of everything. I let him hold me. Let him think he'd won, while my mind calculated exactly how to destroy him. The laptop was almost too easy to access. Marcus believed I was the weak, broken thing he created. Why would someone like that think to invade his privacy? Password, our wedding date. Arrogant and sloppy. What I found made me vomit into the bathroom sink. Folders. Dozens of them. Organized like a sick filing system. Sophia. Current Elena. Wife, active project. Jennifer. Previous Amanda. Previous Rachel. Previous. Each folder contained photos, videos, messages. A chronological record of his manipulation. His seduction. His destruction. The Elena folder was particularly illuminating. Screenshots of my bank account before and after marriage, my father's financial records. How did he get those? A document titled, Elena Project Timeline. Month 1 to 3. Isolate from support system month 4 to 6. Financial dependence month 7 to 9. Gaslight to instability month 10 to 12. Divorce. Claim mental illness. Take assets bonus objective. Seduce mother for additional leverage and entertainment. I wasn't a wife. I was a project. A game with a predetermined ending where I lost everything. But then I found the other document. Divorce settlement draft. Dated 3 weeks before our wedding. He'd planned to destroy me before we even said I do. With the laptop evidence secured on a hidden drive, I began to understand the full scope of my cage. Joint bank accounts with only his access. Credit cards in my name, but statements going to his email. My car. Legally his, a gift after marriage. The house, his name only, despite my insistence we co-own. Even my phone was on his plan, which meant he could see every call, every text, every website I visited. I'd been systematically stripped of autonomy, so slowly I hadn't noticed until the cage door locked. We're married, he'd say when I questioned anything. What's mine is yours. Why do you need separate accounts? Don't you trust me? The irony was suffocating. I couldn't leave. Not without money, transportation, or evidence that would hold up in court. So I stayed, smiled, played the recovering wife grateful for her patient husband's support, and plotted. I bought the cameras with cash from babysitting. Yes, at 28, I'd been reduced to hiding money from babysitting like a teenager. Tiny, discreet, motion activated. I placed them strategically. Bedroom, hidden in the smoke detector. Guest room, inside the decorative bookshelf. Living room, behind the frame of our wedding photo. The irony was intentional. His office, inside the air vent. Then I waited. It didn't take long. Day 3. Marcus on the phone in his office. She's completely broken. Doesn't even fight anymore. Another month, and I can have her committed. Her own mother will testify she's unstable. Day 7. Marcus with Sophia in our bed. The wife? She's useful. Her father's business connections alone are worth the hassle. Once I'm established, I'll dump her and we'll cash out. Day 12. Marcus with my mother in the guest room. I left the house, couldn't watch that one their moans. Her voice. Does she know? His laugh. She's too stupid to figure it out. Perfect little victim. Every recording was backed up in 3 places. Cloud storage under a fake name. Physical drive hidden at a friend's house, and copies with a lawyer I'd consulted under the guise of updating my will. The monster didn't know I was documenting his every move. But he was about to find out. Through his laptop and phone records, I found them. Jennifer, divorced after 2 years, left with nothing, now struggling to pay rent. Amanda, engaged to him for 6 months before he emptied her savings and ghosted. Rachel, dated for a year, ended up in therapy after he convinced her she was mentally ill. And Sophia, the current mistress who thought she was special, who didn't know about Jennifer or Amanda or Rachel or me, who didn't know she was just another folder on his laptop. I contacted them all, anonymously at first, testing the waters. Then, when they responded with their own horror stories, openly, we formed a group chat, called it Survivors of Marcus Kane, and we compared notes. The pattern was identical. Love bombing, excessive attention, gifts, promises, isolation, cutting off friends and family, financial control, accessing accounts, creating dependence, gaslighting, denying reality, rewriting history, discard, leaving with their money and dignity. He's a textbook sociopath, Jennifer said during our first group video call. I tried to warn you. I was the woman who came to your bridal suite. My blood froze. That was you. She nodded, tears streaming. I knew what he was planning. I couldn't let it happen to someone else without trying to stop it. I'm so sorry you didn't listen. I'm sorry I didn't listen, I whispered back. Don't be sorry, Rachel cut in, voice hard. Be angry. And then be strategic. We all tried to take him down alone and failed. But together. Amanda smiled grimly. Together we're an army. Derek came to me on a Tuesday, face pale and shaking. Marcus's best friend. Best man at our wedding. His longest friendship. I can't stay silent anymore, he said. We were at a coffee shop, far from anywhere Marcus might see. What he's doing to you, it's wrong. And I've been complicit by saying nothing. You knew. I suspected. Then I confirmed. He pushed a folder across the table. Financial records. He's been embezzling from your father's company, the one he claimed to be consulting for. Shell corporations, fake invoices, offshore transfers. Millions, Elena. He's been stealing millions. My hands shook as I opened the folder. Page after page of evidence. Why are you telling me this? Because he's planning something worse. Derek's eyes met mine. He's going to kill you. Not directly, he's too smart for that. But he's taking out life insurance policies. Big ones. And he's been researching accidental deaths that pay out. The coffee shop spun. When? Soon. I heard him on the phone with someone yesterday. Something about loose ends and final phase. Elena, you need to get out. Now. Tonight. I can't. He controls everything. Then we make him lose control. Derek leaned forward. I have connections. Lawyers, investigators, journalists. People who can protect you and expose him. But you have to trust me. I studied his face. Saw genuine remorse. Genuine fear. Why now? Why not months ago? Because I was a coward. His voice broke. And I'll have to live with that. But I can't live with your death. Please. Let me help. I took the folder. Okay, I said. Let's destroy him. Sophia made her move before I could make mine. A Facebook post. Public. Tagged with both our names. To the woman calling herself Mrs. Kane. Your husband is M.Y. Man. Has been for years. You're just a placeholder he's using for money and connections. Pathetic little wife playing house while I get the real Marcus. How does it feel knowing you'll never be enough? Attached. Photos of them together. Intimate. Explicit. Timestamped during our marriage. The post went viral in our social circle within hours. My phone exploded. Friends, the few I had left. OMG, are you okay? Acquaintances, did you know? Marcus's family. You must have driven him to it. My mother. Take it down. This is humiliating for everyone. I let it spread. Let everyone see. Then I posted my own response. To the woman who thinks she's special, you're not. You're victim number 6. Check your bank accounts. I bet he's already started draining them. I've been gathering evidence for months. Enjoy being next. With receipts. Screenshots of his laptop folders. The Sophia current file. Messages where he called her useful and temporary. Her confident smirk in those photos. Gone. Within an hour, she deleted everything and blocked me. But the damage was done. Marcus came home to a social media wildfire he couldn't control. What did you do? He grabbed my arm, fingers bruising. Do you know what you've... I held up my phone. Camera recording. Assault, Marcus. Really? Should I call the police now, or wait for the bruises to develop for better photos? He dropped my arm like it burned. You're insane. No, I said calmly. I'm done. There's a difference. For 2 weeks, I played the broken wife having a mental breakdown. I stopped eating, visibly. I'd sneak food when he wasn't around. Lost weight. Let my hair go unwashed. Stopped wearing makeup. I mumbled to myself. Forgot conversations. Seemed distant and confused. Marcus was thrilled. She's finally cracking. I heard him tell someone on the phone. Another week, and we can proceed with the commitment paperwork. Doctor's already on board. The doctor was his tennis buddy. A man who'd sign whatever papers Marcus needed for the right price. Meanwhile, I was documenting everything. Recording him discussing plans to have me committed, copying his communications with the corrupt doctor, forwarding his financial crimes to the FBI, anonymously, meeting with Derek, the other women, and a team of lawyers building an airtight case, moving money, the little I'd managed to hide, into accounts he didn't know existed. I was a mess on the outside, a strategist on the inside, and Marcus, in his arrogance, never saw it coming. The package arrived at Kane Industries at 9 a.m. on a Monday. Addressed to the CEO, Marcus's boss, the man whose daughter Marcus had been flirting with to secure a promotion. Inside, printed screenshots of Marcus with Sophia, printed screenshots of Marcus with my mother, printed screenshots of Marcus with 3 other employees' financial records, showing embezzlement proof. He'd been billing personal expenses as business costs, USB drive with video evidence of everything. Anonymous, of course, but thorough. By 10 a.m., Marcus was called into a meeting. By 11 a.m., security was escorting him out with his desk contents in a box. By noon, the company's lawyer was filing criminal charges. He called me 17 times. I answered none of them. Just sent a single text. How does it feel to lose everything? My father came to the house that evening. Marcus was gone, staying at a hotel, blocked from the house by the restraining order I'd filed that morning. Dad looked older than I'd ever seen him. Tired. Broken. Your mother, he said, voice cracking. How long have you known? 6 months. He flinched like I'd hit him. Why didn't you tell me? Would you have believed me? She's your wife. He's your protégé. I'm just your daughter having a mental breakdown. Tears streamed down his face. I believe you now. The evidence you sent my lawyer. God, Elena. I'm so sorry. So fucking sorry. He'd receive his own package that morning. Proof of the affair. Proof of the embezzlement. Proof his wife and son-in-law had been destroying his daughter and his company while he trusted them both. I filed for divorce, he said. Your mother will get nothing. I'll make sure of it. Good. And Marcus, I'll testify. Whatever you need. I'll help bury him. I hugged my father for the first time in months. We cried together. 2 people betrayed by the ones they loved most. My mother tried to reach me once. A letter, since I'd blocked her everywhere else. Elena, you're destroying this family over a misunderstanding. Marcus loves you. I was trying to help save your marriage by being there for him when you couldn't. You're being selfish and vindictive. Stop this nonsense before you lose everyone. I burned it. Sent her the ashes in an envelope with 1 word. Goodbye. The divorce papers were delivered during his television interview. Marcus, trying to control the narrative, had agreed to a local news segment about false accusations and cancel culture. The reporter was sympathetic, until my lawyer walked onto the set mid-interview and handed Marcus the papers. Marcus Kane, you've been served. His face on live television was priceless. Shock, rage, panic, all cycling in real time for thousands of viewers. This is you can't, he stood, papers falling. That bitch set this up. Mr. Kane, the reporter said smoothly, Are you referring to your wife, who you've been accused of abusing, gaslighting, and defrauding? I never! She's lying, this is all. He lunged toward the camera. Security intervened. The footage went viral within minutes. Abusive husband loses control on live TV, trended nationally. His reputation didn't just crack. It shattered. What followed was systematic destruction. The revelation: Sophia, realizing she'd been used, came forward with her own evidence. Text messages where Marcus detailed his plans. Admissions of manipulation. Confessions that I'd been right. She was just another victim in his collection. With his job gone, legal fees mounting, and assets frozen pending investigation, Marcus went from penthouse to his parents' basement. Then, when they saw the evidence, to a friend's couch. Then, when those friends learned the truth, to a motel off the highway. The courtroom victory: the divorce took 3 months. Marcus tried every trick, claiming I'd cheated, that I was mentally unstable, that I'd stolen from him. Patricia Chun, my lawyer, destroyed every argument with evidence so overwhelming the judge actually said, "Mr. Kane, stop wasting this court's time." I got the house, the cars, half his future earnings, what little there would be, and most importantly, my freedom. Marcus showed up at my door 6 months after the divorce, drunk and desperate. "You ruined me," he slurred. "Everything I built gone. Because you couldn't just be a good wife." I looked at him, really looked at him, and felt nothing. No anger, no pain, no love, just pity for a hollow man whose cruelty had finally caught up with him. "I didn't ruin you, Marcus. I just stopped letting you ruin me. There's a difference. I loved you. You don't know what love is. You only know how to consume it." He tried to push past me. I stepped back, hit the panic button connected to the security system Derek had installed. Police arrived in 4 minutes. Marcus was arrested for violating the restraining order. As they led him away, still screaming about injustice and lies, I closed the door on that chapter of my life. Literally. Epilogue: the bride who survived the monster. 2 years after the divorce, I stood in my newly opened office. Carter Consulting, supporting survivors of narcissistic abuse. The sign gleamed above the door. Jennifer, Amanda, Rachel, and Sophia, my army of survivors, stood with me. We'd turned our trauma into purpose, our pain into power. We helped other women recognize the signs. Escape safely. Rebuild. We'd saved 14 women in the first year alone. Derek stopped by opening day with flowers. "Proud of you, Elle. Couldn't have done it without you." "Yes, you could have." He smiled. "You're the strongest person I know." My father walked me to my car that evening, healthy now after his own divorce and healing. "You okay?" he asked. "I am, actually. And I meant it. I'm better than okay. I'm free." The woman who knocked on my door the night before my wedding saved my life even. Though I didn't know it then. Jennifer found me a year after the divorce, nervous and hopeful. "I know you probably hate me for not trying harder," she said. "For not breaking down that door and forcing you to look at the evidence." "I would have called security," I admitted. I wasn't ready to see the truth. "When did you become ready?" I thought about the moment everything changed. Not when I heard them in room 412. Not when I saw him with my mother. But earlier. Quieter. When I stopped believing his version of me, I said. When I realized that the crazy, paranoid, unstable woman he described wasn't who I was, it was who he needed me to be, so he could keep winning. Jennifer nodded. "That's the hardest part. Reclaiming your own reality." "It is. But once you do," I smiled, "you become unstoppable." Marcus sent letters from prison. Yes, prison. The embezzlement charges stuck. The fraud stuck. And when they investigated deeper, they found evidence of tax evasion, identity theft, and conspiracy. 15 years. His letters alternated between apologetic and aggressive. "I'm sorry. I was sick. I need help. You destroyed my life, you vindictive bitch. Please visit. I need to see you. I'll make you pay when I get out." I read none of them after the first few. They went straight into a folder marked evidence of continued harassment that my lawyer kept just in case. Patricia had warned me. Men like Marcus don't change. They just get angrier that they lost control. She was right, but his anger couldn't reach me anymore. I'd built walls he couldn't scale, installed alarms he couldn't silence, created a life he couldn't poison. Marcus was released after serving 8 years, early for good behavior. He tried to contact me immediately. Messages from new numbers, all blocked. Emails from fake accounts, filtered to spam. Eventually, he showed up at my office. Security stopped him at the door, but I could see him through the glass, older, thinner, eyes still burning with entitlement and rage. "Just 5 minutes," he shouted. "You owe me that much." I walked to the door but didn't open it. Spoke through the intercom instead. "I owe you nothing, Marcus, but I'll give you 1 minute. Say what you need to say." He pressed against the glass, breath fogging it. "I served my time. I paid my debt. You need to forgive me and move on." "This vendetta is over," I interrupted. "I moved on years ago. You're the one who can't let go. You destroyed me." "No, I stopped you from destroying me. There's a difference." I leaned closer to the intercom. "You destroyed yourself, Marcus. Every choice you made, lying, cheating, stealing, abusing, those were your choices. I just refused to be your victim anymore. I loved you. You loved controlling me, owning me, using me. That's not love. That's possession." I straightened. "Your minute is up. Security will remove you if you're not gone in 30 seconds. And if you contact me again, I'll file harassment charges. Test me." I walked away. Behind me, I heard him screaming threats, promises, apologies, all blending into meaningless noise. People ask me sometimes if I regret marrying Marcus. The answer is complicated. I regret the pain, the trauma, the years of therapy needed to undo the psychological damage. But I don't regret the lessons. I learned that love shouldn't hurt, that trust is earned, not given blindly, that the people who claim to have your best interests at heart are sometimes the ones poisoning your water, that family isn't always safe, that marriage isn't always sacred, that sometimes the only way to save yourself is to become the villain in someone else's story. And most importantly, I learned that I was stronger than anyone, including myself, ever gave me credit for. The woman who walked down the aisle at 26 was naive, trusting, desperate to believe in fairy tales. The woman who walked away from that marriage at 27 was broken, traumatized, barely holding together. But the woman who stands here now at 33? She's a survivor, a fighter, a queen who built her empire from the ashes of the life someone tried to burn down. She helps other women escape their monsters. She teaches them that leaving is possible, that healing is real, that the story doesn't end when the marriage does, it's just beginning. Last month, I received a letter from an unexpected source. "Sophia, dear Elena, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from. I don't blame you. I participated in destroying your marriage, even if I didn't know I was being used too. I just wanted you to know you saved my life. After everything fell apart, I started recognizing the patterns, the manipulation, the control, and I realized Marcus wasn't my first abuser, he was just the most obvious. I got therapy, real therapy, and I've been helping other women recognize narcissistic abuse in their own lives. I'll never forgive myself for what I did to you, but I'm trying to make it right by preventing it from happening to others. You didn't just survive, Elena. You evolved, and you showed the rest of us that evolution was possible. Thank you. Sophia." I folded the letter carefully, placed it in a box labeled Proof of Growth, and forgave her, not because she deserved it, but because holding on to that anger served no purpose except to chain me to the past. Marcus took a lot from me. My trust, my innocence, years of my life, but he couldn't take my strength, because I didn't know I had it until he forced me to find it. And now I use that strength to light the way for others still trapped in the darkness. I am the woman who knocked on your door the night before your wedding. I am the voice saying, it's not too late. You can still run. You deserve better. I am the proof that survival is possible, that healing is real, that monsters can be defeated, not with their weapons, but with truth, strategy, and the unshakable knowledge of your own worth. I married a monster, but I divorced him, destroyed his power, and built a kingdom from the ruins he left behind. And if you're reading this from your own hotel hallway, hearing your own voices behind the door, standing at your own altar wondering if you're making a mistake, listen to that voice. Trust your gut. Save yourself. Because no one else can do it for you. But you absolutely can do it for yourself. I'm proof. And you can be too. Love should never require you to lose yourself. Marriage should never feel like a prison. And if someone shows you who they really are, through actions, through words overheard, through warnings from strangers, believe them. Not all monsters have fangs and claws. Some wear wedding rings and whisper, "I love you," while systematically destroying everything you are. But you are stronger than their manipulation, smarter than their games, and worthy of so much more than their cruelty. Trust yourself. Protect yourself. Save yourself. Because the day you stop being their victim is the day you become your own hero. And queens don't bow to monsters. They conquer them. For every woman still standing in that hallway, still hearing those voices, still wondering if she's crazy or if he really is the monster she fears. You're not crazy. He is the monster. And you have the power to escape. I believe you. I believe in you. And I'm proof that there's life, beautiful, powerful, free life, on the other side of that door. Walk through it. I'll be waiting.